toxic masculinity.
Read it.
AstraZeneca vaccine should be avoided by most people, German expert warn.
Yeah, this is a crazy story. You want to turn your brightness up a little bit? All right, it's here. Germany suspends use of AstraZeneca shot for the use of anyone under 60, which is, obviously a problem for AstraZeneca. But I actually changed the title to this, but I forgot to send it to you.
So they don't want people under 60 to get the second
That's
shot?
right. They don't want anybody under 60 to get AstraZeneca shots at all. They're like banning AstraZeneca, essentially. If you're over 60, they think for some reason you should still get it. I'm not really sure why. I guess because it's such an emergency, you should do it.
Interesting.
But it's creating like a problem where there's this fairly rare reaction to it where people are getting blood clots in their brains, and like 9 people have died.
That.
It's pretty nasty. So this is from CNBC. This isn't even a right-wing publication. Let's go ahead and read some of this. Germany has suspended the use of coronavirus vaccine created by AstraZeneca at the University of Oxford for people under 60 due to renewed concerns over reports of blood clots. The move comes after the country's medicines regulator found 31 cases of a rare type of blood clot in a small number of people immunized with the coronavirus vaccine produced by the Anglo-Swedish drug maker. The suspension is likely to deal yet another blow to its vaccine's reputation. Initially, a few regions suspended some use of the shot Tuesday due to concerns over possible link to a rare but serious form of blood clots. But then on Tuesday, it was announced that the whole country would no longer give the vaccine to anyone under 6 years old, following advice from the country's independent vaccines committee known as STIKO. The committee said in a statement on Tuesday that after several consultations, the majority of the STIKO decided the help of external experts. With the help of external experts to only recommend the COVID-19 AstraZeneca vaccine for people age 60 and over. This decision was based on the currently available blah 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 blah. Let's get down to
you would wanna older people get the vaccine, like over 60.
That's the people who they're saying should get it.
Okay.
Everybody under should not get it. It's too dangerous.
Too late.
Well, some people have got it. Yeah. Germany's Paul Ehrlich Institute, a federal agency and medical regulatory body, told CNBC that there had been 31 cases of blood clots in the cerebral veins, so in people's brains, a condition known as sinus vein thrombosis or cerebral venous sinus Latin, something in Latin.
Something in Latin.
Cerebral venous sinus thrombosis. Reported to it as part of spontaneous recording. Sometimes people write sentences and I just don't understand them. Reported to it as part of spontaneous recording. I don't understand that. Okay, within that number, oh, good Lord, there's another one. I didn't go to medical school, guys. Thrombocytopenia, a condition characterized by abnormally low levels of platelets in the blood, was also reported in 19 cases. In 9 of those cases, the people affected died. All but 2 of the 31 cases involved women, 20 to 63 years old. So this is mostly a thing that hurts women. With 2 men affected, they were 36 and 57 years old. So the weird thing is, it doesn't seem to hurt older people. This doesn't seem to affect older people, but younger people are being affected. It added that it continues to investigate and evaluate all incoming case reports and is actively involved in the relevant discussions, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. To put the numbers in context, almost 2.7 million people in Germany had received a first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine. Okay, so if it's only like 31 people out of 2.7 million, that seems kind of like an overreaction to me, but okay. With 767 people having had a second dose, according to data from Germany's public health agency. So maybe it's after the second dose they're getting it. So that would actually be a very high number relative to the second dose. Anyway, yeah, so it's bad for AstraZeneca, and then they've defended themselves, not that I care. But I guess the reason I wanted to talk about this story is because it's really critical that you do your research into what vaccines that you're getting, because a lot of
How
these
can
vaccines.
you make a research if there is a completely new thing?
Well, that's the problem.
There's not much thing.
That's the problem. A lot of these vaccines are experimental vaccines. I don't know about the AstraZeneca vaccine. I haven't looked into it, right? So I wouldn't get that vaccine because I haven't looked into it. In this particular case, just trusting everybody, I think that's a little bit of a...
Don't trust anyone.
It's a bit of a risk. You
Don't
shouldn't trust anyone.
Never.
Now, Valeria and I are not getting vaccinated, and we made this decision.
Until they will put me in the corner with the gun next to my head. Maybe then I will
Consider
get
it. Yeah. Well, but I'll tell you what. But here's the thing. I'm not against vaccines. I think vaccines are very good things. They've been proven over decades and forever. I mean, they've been around for what is it, like over 100 years? Vaccines. We've been taking them as a society. We've had we've basically cured a lot of horrible diseases. We've done some very good work because of vaccines. Vaccines have had an amazing benefit to the world. I am not against vaccines. Valeria's a little bit more suspicious than I am.
Absolutely right.
So she's, if you side with Valeria, you're going to think I'm an idiot. I get comments all the time. You're an idiot. Your wife knows more than you do. Ha, 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 ha. Okay.
That's not true. That's not true. He knows more than I am.
Well, there are a lot of cynical...
I'm just a little crazy.
There are a lot of cynical bastards out there who are convinced the vaccines are just going to kill you.
KBG, don't trust anyone. KGB, I think. They might.
Don't trust anyone. No, but I think vaccines in general are very, very good things. However, in this particular case, there is a huge benefit if you do get the vaccine or any of these vaccines. You can keep your grandma safe, all that good stuff. But because that they're experimental vaccines, there are potentially unknown risks. So it is something that you have to weigh for yourself, and you have to make the decision for yourself. And this is, I guess, the main reason to me why the concept of mandatory vaccines is so abhorrent. Right? Mm-hmm. We're gonna mandate that you take a vaccine that is a completely new technology. To me, that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. I would move to a country. I would literally move to another country to avoid that fate. And this idea of vaccine passports to me is equally reprehensible. You have this idea that you're not allowed to do anything in the world. You're not allowed to travel. You're not allowed to do anything unless you get this vaccine passport that proves that you have done what the government has told you must do. A lot of people online right now are criticizing this in particular as enormously hypocritical, because the Democrats have been saying for years that if you require people to have photo ID to vote, that's somehow racist. Mm-hmm. But now everybody has to have some kind of vaccine passport, and in some way that's actually perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Which is completely contradicts each other, right? Because it's not like you're going to have this vaccine passport and say, look, I've got this vaccine passport, and they're not going to make you show your ID to show that it's the same person, right? To show that it's not a forgery or something like that, or you're using somebody else's vaccine, or a vaccine ID, or you just didn't paste your own photo on it. So certainly, presumably it'll be in some kind of a system.
It's going to be QR code.
It's going to be QR, so yeah, everything's going electronic.
We will have information about everything, basically.
Yeah. Anyway, the point is, if you can force people to have a vaccine passport, you can force people to show their ID when voting. Mm-hmm. And this whole argument of the left that it's racist to have photo ID when you vote is obviously BS. And, they're obviously just using it as political leverage to allow people to cheat in elections, which is pretty horrible. But anyway, I digress. The point is, be careful with your vaccines. Do your research and make sure you know exactly what's being injected into your body. Darling, do you have anything to say before we go?
Yes, I have 2 super chats.
Oh, okay. Well, shall we take these super chats? It's all you, baby.
First from Frank James. Your backdrop reminds me of Fraser. Seattle ?
Yeah, Frasier's in Seattle. That's
100%.
Right. Yeah. Great show, actually. That's classic. And Frasier. Toxic Masculinity. Weekdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.